Hello and welcome, our dear students at the fourth stage, the College of Arts, University of Anbar. Hello and welcome again. And this is the last lecture in this semester. And today, inshallah, in this lecture, we'll try to cover the problem of translating polysemous words, or the problem of translating polysemy. So what is polysemy? Actually, it's a word with more than one meaning. And actually, you have to note something here, that there's a mix here in this discussion between polysemy and homonymy. And I refer you to go back and check George Yule's book that you have, or you have studied these points last year in the section of semantics, when George Yule differentiates between homonymy and polysemy. He says that one word with or has more than one meaning, this is polysemy. But with regard to polysemy, these meanings are related. So there's a relation in one way or in another between those meanings. So they are related. While homonymy, with the same definition, but the meanings are unrelated. The meanings are unrelated. And you can check the word bank. Bank, it is the first meaning is that it is the well-known financial institution. While the other meaning for bank, it's the two sides of river. Two sides of a river. So this is actually homonymy. And actually there's a mix here. Here there's a mix between polysemy and homonymy. This is just for you to note how to differentiate between homonymy and polysemy, which are actually mixed here in this discussion. But as we have to abide by the textbook. So it is all presented here: polysemy and homonymy, with the main title polysemy. So polysemy here, it is one word with more than one meaning. For example, you know spring. So spring is one of the meanings of spring. Actually, we have lots of meaning for the word spring. It is one of the 4 seasons. It is that metal thing that is used in some machines. It is like a fountain. One of those meanings for spring is to jump. So we have actually lots of meanings for spring. We have also the head. We know what's head. Your head. That upper part of your body. This is head. And for example, the head of the meeting, the head of institution, the head of the university. So all these are the word head is polysemous, and the word spring is polysemous, and these are examples of polysemy. And actually, we have here also an example given here for stage, for the word stage. One of the meanings of stage is step. The other one platform in a theater, that is خشبة المسرح. So we have meanings. For example, actually these are examples. This word is an example of stage, and actually also here there's a mix between Palestine and Manasami, and actually this is for you just to differentiate between the two words. And actually Manasami is that one word has just one meaning. There's no other meanings. For example, here telephone, sleep, they have just one meaning. And actually there's no discussion here for Manasami. It is postponed to other parts. It's postponed to other parts. So in this section we'll just discuss Palestine, and this is given for you just to differentiate between the two. So and actually yes, there's a problem in translating Palacemus words. There's a problem in translating Palacemus words. So as regards Palestine, which is yes, this is to be discussed in this section. It is one of the major distinguishing characteristics of both English and Arabic, and he says here that, and actually I don't agree with this. He says this is noted. I mean, Palestine is more noted in English than Arabic. And actually I don't agree with this. We have lots of words in Arabic which have Palacemus characteristics. So what is the problem? And actually here okay, an example given here just for you just to explain how it is a problem in translation. So the main problem is that students or non-professional translators instantly they know, for example, they know just one of the meanings of the words. Okay, they don't know the other meanings. So once they see a word within a sentence, they just pick the only meaning they know without checking the other meanings. And actually this is the main problem. So without the help of a dictionary and a professional teacher, you will make a mistake with regard to translating Palestine. So for example, here an example given here for the word break. So here it means kasara. Okay, it has the meaning of kasara. All of these meaning with those notes, even those. Okay, there is some relation with kasara. Okay, there is some relation with kasara. Okay, even here. Okay, he says that yes, it is. There's no relation. He says, well, let's say the relation here between the meaning of break and kasara is weak. So instead, for example, the athlete runner tried to break the word record. حاول العداء تحطيم الرقم القياسي. It is here instead of تحطيم, it is تسجيل actually. تسجيل الرقم القياسي. So he says actually there's no relation here between the meaning of break and تحطيم. It is تحطيم, but it is actually تسجيل, not تحطيم. But here I think, yes, there's also a relation here between a break and تكسير أو تهشيم أو تحقيق. Even those words, even those actually meanings, which the writer says there's no relation between the meanings presented here in those sentences and its translation and its meaning and the translation. For example, the storming weather has broken at least, which means انقشع أو انتهى. For example, the prisoner broke jail, which means فر السجين من السجن. Sand will break the player's fall. سوف يخفف الرمل من سقطة اللاعب أو من سقوط اللاعب. But all in all, I can say in my view, this is not the view of the author of this book. In my view, there is a relation between the meaning here within the sentence and the translation. So all actually have the meaning of يكسر أو كسر. Okay, those meanings include the meaning of كسر. Even if you it is hidden sometimes, but it's there. For example, the dawn breaks at 5 o'clock today. يبزغ الفجر عند الساعة الخامسة اليوم. Even يبزغ here, it is like breaking dark. It's like breaking the dark. يكسر الظلام. So there's a relation. In my view, there's a relation in the meaning of the sentence of a break here and its translation. There's a relation with the meaning of a break. يكسر. Okay. So here, actually, the all those sentences. Okay. In all those sentences, phrasal verbs are excluded. Phrasal verbs are excluded, and actually this is a very big problem. We know what's a phrasal verb. Phrasal verb is a phrase composed of a verb plus preposition. And actually these are idiomatic expressions. Idiomatic expressions, if you remember in the last semester we discussed what's meant by idiomatic expressions, and we said yes, we have that example. It's raining cats and dogs. It's raining cats and dogs. These are fixed expressions, and when you combine the meaning, it does not refer to the main meaning. For example, that it rains heavily. There's no relation between cats and dogs and heavily. Okay, heavily. There's no relation between heavily and cats and dogs. And actually, this is the problem of translating idiomatic expressions, and that if you don't know the meaning, if you haven't checked the meaning in some dictionaries, you will not be able to underline the meaning of a phrasal verb. So in those examples presented with regard to break, there's no mention for phrasal verb. The author here, just to simplify the ideas, excluded the meanings related to in relation with the break. They are excluded from being given here. Okay, so they are excluded from here. So these are problems. Why? If you don't know the meaning here, we have some meanings are easy to be identified. But other meanings, okay, for example, go break a leg, okay, أتمنى لك حظا سعيدا. Okay, if you don't know the meaning of break here, go break a leg. Okay, if you haven't checked this meaning before, you will not be able to identify that it means أتمنى لك حظا سعيدا. Okay, so some meanings are easily identified, but others they are not, unless you check the meaning or check out the meaning in a dictionary. So what are the possible solutions for the problems of translating blasphemous words? Okay, actually the writer here presented seven steps to to solve the problem of translating blasphemous words. Seven. And actually those steps, okay, sometimes those steps discuss the same point. 2 points discuss the same idea, as we will see later, inshallah. For example, and actually there's another meaning, okay, with the same idea. Sound, same meanings given for or the same explanation or discussion given for the word sound, just for you to know that it is also a blasphemous word. Okay, so we'll go directly to the solution. So number one, solution. Okay, these are steps, as we have said, 7 steps. So the first solution is that students are required to bear this in mind when translating a word which seems strange if translated into its common meaning. You have to check the translation. Is it acceptable? You have to know that some words in the language, or actually it's not some, actually a lot of words in the language are blasphemous. So you have to know this is the first point to bear in mind. Okay, and that yes, we have a lot of words that are blasphemous in the language. So this means that it has another meaning. So one word does not have one meaning. Okay, it has more than one meaning, which is different from that well known to them. For example, you know the word novel. You know the word novel. 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 One of the meanings of novel. It is that literary art. Novel, riwayah. But the other meaning is new. So you know just one of the meanings of novel. You know riwayah, but okay, you have to know that this word has another meaning that is new. Novel means in many cases it means new. It's not jadid. It's not riwayah. Okay. So here, okay, an example given here. He broke jail. Okay, when you translate it into كسر السجن, okay, it doesn't fit the situation here. It does not fit the situation here. كسر السجن. So unacceptable meaning. So you have to know that it can be translated into فر أو هرب من السجن. You have to check the other meanings for break in a dictionary. Okay, so that the meaning will be acceptable. Okay. The second solution, the text you have, and actually this point number 2 and point number 3, actually they are the same. They are discussing the same point, which means the context. Here it is the text type. For example, when you come across the word spring, already we discussed spring. The word of spring, we said one of the meanings is, okay, one of the 4 seasons. It means also the that metal thing used in machines, النابض. For example, jump, يقفز, fountain, نافورة. These are some of the meanings of spring. When you are reading, for example, a text about a trip, and you have seen a river, and there are some trees, and the weather was good, and okay, when you see the word spring in such a text, you will it is clear that it is talking about one of the 4 seasons, الربيع. It's not talking about النابض, okay, as we say in colloquial language, السبرينج. The same thing applies to the third point. It is about the context, and we mean the context, the surrounding of the sentence, which means to read what precedes the sentence and what follows this sentence, so that you could underline the context of the word. Okay, so here this point number 2 and point number 3, okay, are discussing the same point. Here the text type, and actually there's a reference to the context, and here there is a reference to the context. There's a reference to the context, which means here you have to look at the preceding and following sentences or clauses, and the general context, the whole text. And actually this is the same as discussing this point. For example, we have been given here an example. The runner fell down in the race. He broke his leg, so he was immediately taken to hospital. سقط العداء أرضا في السباق. And here you cannot identify. He broke his leg. لذا أخذ أو نقل. If you don't know the meaning of a broke here, okay, you can just check the preceding sentence and the following sentence, so that you could identify the meaning of this word. which means كسرت ساقه, which means كسرت ساقه. Okay, the same thing applies to the to other. For example, here, go and break a leg. هل أنت متوتر بسبب الامتحان? Are you nervous because of the exam? Don't worry, go break a leg. لا تقلق, أو حظا موفقا, أو حظا سعيدا, أو نرجو لك التوفيق وأنا أرجو لكم التوفيق أيضا في الامتحان إن شاء الله, للجميع التوفيق والنجاح. The same. These are just other examples. The fourth point, or the fourth step for solution, or for solving the problem of translating blasphemous words, is that you have to read the translation. You have to check your translation to see, is it okay? Is it okay? For example, here, this medicine, when translated literally, this medicine will break you of smoking. سوف يكسرك هذا الدواء من التدخين. So this sentence does not make sense. And the problem is with the word يكسرك, because it is translated literally without checking the other meanings for break here. Okay. So the meaning of يكسرك here, or break you of smoking, is يخلصك من التدخين. And as you can see, yes, there's a relation, even it is somehow hidden, but there's a relation of breaking here. Breaking your, or to stop your behavior of smoking. And I can see that there's still a relation of يكسر here, though the writer says that it does not make sense, but I can see there is some relation here. The same thing applies to other examples. Okay. Step number 5, the grammatical class of the word, verb, noun, adjective, etc., can be a guide to its blasphemy. Yes, and actually this is a good point. You have to identify for the same blasphemous word. When it is a verb, it has meaning. It has meanings. When it is a noun, it has other meanings. When it is an adjective, yes, it has other meanings. For example, the word sound here, when it is a verb, sound, when you say this paper sounds good to me, يبدو هذا التقرير جيدا بالنسبة لي. So you will not say that sound means here الصوت. يبدو أو التقرير صوت بالنسبة لي. No. Sound means here يبدو. Sound, one of the other meanings for sound also, it is it's not broken. When you say the person is safe and sound, that person is safe and sound. هو بخير وصحة وعافية. هو سليم. هو سليم بصحة. Okay. It does not mean that person هو صوت وآمن. No. It means هو سليم. When you could differentiate between the meanings of the same word when it comes as a verb or as a noun or as an adjective. Okay. This is one of the solutions for Palacemus word. For example, here sound is an adjective. Sound here is an adjective, which means معتقدات راسخة. And actually, sound here, it's not راسخة. Sound beliefs معتقدات سليمة. It's not راسخة here. Sound beliefs, you can go and check the meaning of sound, which means سليم. معتقدات صحيحة أو سليمة. Yes, we can as a matter of style say راسخة, but actually the meaning here is سليمة, not راسخة. So this is step number 5. What about step number 6? The expected combination or collocation of Palacemus word with other words is also helpful in guessing its meaning. And actually, you know what's collocation? Collocation is or means that two words that always go together. Always go together. So I can say a handsome boy but a beautiful girl. A beautiful girl but a handsome boy. This is collocation. Okay, the word accepts the combination of some words and does not accept the combination of other words. So this is collocation. So how it helps? For break, for example, expected by students to combine with physical objects like window. When you want to underline the meaning of break as kasara, so the combination is with window, door, hand, leg, head, car, wood, etc. But when it occurs or when it collocates with abstract non-physical words like promise, law, lunch, dawn, weather, so actually it does not mean here kasara. It has another meaning. It has another meaning. For example, when you break fast, which means break fast, al-futur. Oh, for example here, break a promise, يخلف وعده, break a law, يخرق القانون, etc. So collocation here is something very important, a good point. The same thing applies for sound. The last point discussed here is actually the most difficult point to be solved. The most difficult point to be solved. That is phrasal verbs. The problem, and actually this is a problem, not just for you as learners in English. Actually, it is a problem for even native speakers. It is a problem for even native speakers. They have a problem with using phrasal verb. And actually, phrasal verbs are informal. They are not used in standard language. like the language of newspapers, language of news, language of official statements by the state. So they are informal, and actually the main point here is that you have to go and check. We have some verbs in English that are notoriously known as being phrasal verb words. For example, the word make, the word get, the word put. When you put on or put off, put in, put into, okay, all they have different meanings. So you have to check meanings one by one. There's no solution. You have to check those meanings in a dictionary, in a good dictionary. So you have thousands of or tens of thousands of phrasal verbs in English. And actually this is a problem. We cannot solve this problem without using a dictionary. You cannot solve the problem without using a good dictionary. For example, she broke away from her friends. انفصلت عن صديقاتي. The thief broke away. Even broke into اقتحم الشقة. Broke away from the police. أفلت. Okay. The machine has broken off. توقفت. Break out. اندلعت. Break out. A fierce war may break out between the two countries. Break out اندلعت. Okay. So we don't have a solution here. The only solution is that you have to go and check up the meaning of the phrasal verb in a dictionary. Last, students can distinguish between these two types of verb by looking at the context to find out whether a verb makes sense if translated into its common meaning. And actually, in all the time, with regards to phrasal verbs, it does not make sense. For example, makeup. This is المكياج أو مساحق التجميل. There's no relation between make up يعمل أعلى. These are the word for word translation. يعمل أعلى with مساحيق التجميل. There's no any relation. So it does not in all the time it does not make sense. So the only solution is that you go back and check up the word in a dictionary. If you have a good reference, a good authority, a good teacher, you will be able to ask those teachers, and they may know the meaning of those phrasal verbs, or they can refer you to a good dictionaries with regards to phrasal verbs. And actually we have many dictionaries made by well-known scholars in English specifically for phrasal verbs. And actually every single students of English should have an idea about those phrasal verbs. And actually they are, as we have said, they are informal. Okay, by this we will end our lectures. This is the last lecture for you. I hope I hope this is useful for you, and inshallah in the coming days we'll try to fix an time for live streaming with you to discuss some points with regards to the final examination and also the report. Okay, until that time, I hope you'll do good. You do good in the exam, and you have to prepare yourself well for the final exam. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you and goodbye.